welcome to everybody in today's webinar on problem solving and ideation workshop. And we are pleased to have with us today our guest speaker, Sri Avallo Roy, MD of Kolkata Ventures. We have other distinguished panelists with us, Dr. Shivamay Dasgupta, Dr. Navarun Bhattacharya, Dr. Devashish De, and Mr. J.P. Shaw. And our Honorable Vice Chancellor is currently occupied in another program, and he will be joining once he gets free from there. Okay. So thank you all. Thank you very much for joining us today. As we all know that today's topic is problem solving and ideation workshop. And you know that innovation generally takes birth in sync with the evolution of customers' expectation and demands, or vice versa, and it is ever changing. Either way, organizations around the world have to continually innovate themselves to keep up with the people want, or the companies, if they do not give proper importance or assert on this, then he will also be ignored by the customers, and he will lose in the competitive market. So innovation is pervasive thing. It has to be done, and it has to be done continually. For doing the innovation, as we all know, that divergent and convergent thinking are necessary. Solution-based thinking and problem-based thinking are necessary. Design thinking is another way of driving innovation. And there is another thing which is called TREES, that is theory of inventive problem solving. During today's workshop with Mr. Avallo Roy, we will learn all these things. But before we give the session in the hand of our guest speakers, I would like to give some brief profile of our guest speaker. Mr. Avallo Roy is currently MD of Kolkata Ventures and Director of ECC Engineering Private Limited, Board of Advisors in Amity University, and is a former startup advisor of Prime Minister of Nepal and guest lecturer in Illinois Institute of Technology, Northwestern University, and different IITs like Delhi, Bombay, Kharagpur, Bhubaneswar, and other places. Sri Avallo Roy is a serial tech entrepreneur and investor and TVO who started his first startup at the age of only 19 years. And he around a lot of patents are pending, and he has done his studies. He has done his startups during his study in Illinois Institute of Technology. He built many startup companies and made it to multi-million-dollar valuations. Okay. As the great grandson of Sarojini Naidu, Avallo continues to legacy forward by tirelessly serving the Indian youth through entrepreneurship educations. So with this brief introduction about our guest speaker for the day, I hand over the session to our guest speaker, Sri Avallo Roy, to go through the session's details. Mr. Roy, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mukhopadhyay, and my regards to Professor Dasgupta, Mr. Shah, Professor Bhattacharya, and Professor De. Always a pleasure to be at WBUT and addressing all the students. So we'll get started with today's session. So we're supposed to talk about ideation and all of that, but I just wanted to start with, before anything comes, your startup starts with you. You as a founding person, as the brain of the startup, it starts with you. And the idea is not something, generally the misconception is that you will find the next Google or the Microsoft or whatever, and people wait for that. And until you find something like that, you will not start your business. And that's not how it works. The way it is supposed to work is you start with some concept, some problem, and slowly it evolves into something amazing that you never thought of. And I built 8 businesses, so every time it's like that. I thought this is hot. And by the time I started, it has become something else. And market has shifted. And so by collaborative effort, by data-backed decision-making, you move and morph into something that is beyond your imagination and much better than what you could hope for. But here are the first steps. When you're starting a business and thinking like, I want to have an idea, I want to come up with a problem statement, that my startup can solve. First, have this exercise. Write down on a piece of paper or on your notes in your phone, 2 skills that you have that you're the best at. It could be coding, it could be designing, it could be anything, but 2 skills that make you better than others. And 2 things you're passionate about. No, passion doesn't mean I love food. I mean, it can be food, it can be cricket, it can be movies, it can be whatever. But the point is, when you understand what drives you in terms of passion and what skills you have, here is how it translates. The market where you want to find the problem has something to do with your passion. When you do that, then you can feel the problem. Like, for example, if you're an avid cricket lover or sports lover, and your market is sports, then you can identify a problem that you know much better than a person who's not connected to that market. And then you're like, aha, here is a problem. Now to solve it, I need skills. To build a product or service that solves that problem, I need certain skills. And you will realize you don't have all the skills. There are other people you will have to bring on board, and they are called co-founders. Together, you start building a prototype, a product or a service. And then with the market need that is met by the product or service you're building, that people are willing to pay for, you have what we call the business model. The business model is something that is basically the formula for making money. In simpler words, your effort, your time, your creativity goes in, value creation happens through your product and service, you solve people's problems, and the other side comes out revenue. When your revenue is more than your cost, you're profitable. When your revenue is less than your cost, you're making losses. Somebody's mic needs to be muted.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. All right. So that's, in very, very simple words, that's what business model is, right? So first is, it starts with you, your skills and passion. And you don't have all the skills, but you passionately connect with the market, understand the problem, you ideate what problem, how to solve it, and with the team, you build a prototype, and then you figure out how am I going to market, how am I going to price it, where I'm going to sell it, who am I going to sell it to? All of that is part of your business model that slowly we will unravel. Now, the first thing is creating a strategy and vision. Okay, what is my vision going forward? What do I stand for? Because a company is much more than a product and service, right? It's not just one product. You might have multiple products down the line. But what is the vision that you have? What do you want to solve with your problem? So you need to be a futurist than a generalist. And how do you get future information? Google Patents is a great way to get future information, where you're looking at the patents that have been filed and they are going to be commercialized in the next 2 to 3 years. So you know, aha, this is what's happening in this space. Whatever your industry might be, if you search the keywords in that industry in Google Patents, you will find the technologies that are coming up. Then look at Google Trends. What are people searching? That means this is what people are looking for. You connect the two, right? The technology and what people are searching. These are the possible outcomes. You look at the history and you see, this is how history changed. For example, the Industrial Revolution resulted in people saving time. And when you have extra time, what did people do with it? More entertainment, movie industry, radio industry, sports industry popped up. Before that, people were working on the farms, they were working in the factories, come back home, go to sleep, right? Entertainment would be once in a while, you have some folk this and dancing, singing. But with TV and radio and all of that, entertainment industry boomed, right? That's what happened with automation. Saved us time. We're using that for entertainment. Today, what is happening? Today, with all the saved time, what are we doing? Most people are spending at least on average 4 hours a week, 4 hours a day, I'm sorry, on social media, watching YouTube videos, Instagram Reels, TikTok, this, that. And understandably so, because so much automation is there. We don't have to work extra hard, to get our salaries. If we are efficient, we have the right tools, we have the right intelligence, we can have enough time for entertainment. And entertainment industry is growing massively. Back in the days, entertainers used to be poorer than the people watching them. Today, entertainers are richer than the people watching them because of broadcast media. That's just one example, right? How history repeats itself. Now, I have a question, and I don't know if the students are allowed to use the chat box to answer, but I would like you to, in your mind, think, how do you think transportation and entertainment will evolve after the advent of 5G technology? 5G technology has already been approved. It's going to be available from December, January onwards on Jio and Airtel and other places. So how do you think transportation and entertainment will evolve because of 5G? I don't know if students are allowed to chat.
Yes, students are allowed to chat.
Okay. So we have 577 very bright students here. Let's see. Anybody can answer that question. And there are no right or wrong questions. It's speculation, right? But predicting the future is what we need to do. So while you guys are writing that, I'll keep moving. If somebody has an answer, great. If not, I'll give the answer. Oh, there are. Okay. Let's see. Streaming will be faster than ever. Transportation won't be a factor anymore. Self-driving can be possible in India. Self-driving cars, yes, it will grow like a boom. Absolutely. But it is a little broad. Let's see. Transportation will become extremely faster because they will be value at time. See, fast is definitely there. Here's what's going to happen. The first things that's going to happen is, in India, we have gullies everywhere, right? But the highways are where trucks are going to be automated, because you can automate on the highways because of straight roads rather than small gullies. That's one. Then there's going to be inter-car communication. So accidents are going to be almost zero, because before cars collide, they will pause themselves because they're self-driven, right? So highway accidents will go down, and eventually all accidents will go down as cars become much more intelligent. Entertainment. So right now we are on Zoom. Imagine how cool would it be if I could see you in 3D and you could see me in 3D, in your room, in your classroom, wherever you are. That's already happening. One of my friends in the US, he works for a famous marketing company, but they have a conference room where every seat, there are holographic projections, 3D projections of people who are in different countries. Somebody's in Japan, somebody's in Jakarta, somebody's in India, somebody somewhere else, but they have like 2 Gbps internet connection and holographic projection, and they're interacting like everybody's there, right? So flight travel will go down. Travel will go down significantly because of that. So we need to think, now where are the problems that are going to arise that we can solve? That's where ideation begins. So when there's a problem, we can solve it. The problem is hacking, cybercrime, right? Identity theft. Now, with that, imagine what can be done. Like today, I'm sure you have seen artificial intelligence where your lips can be made to say whatever they want you to say, right? So I love the barrage of ideas that are coming in. This is great. I'm really loving this. Keep it going. So, so you can make Barack Obama or President Trump or President Biden say, happy birthday, so and so. And it will look very real. Unless you know it's AI, you won't believe that, oh my God, this is real. So like that, there is that aspect also. Identity, theft and tremendous amounts of fakes that can be done with this technology, misuse of this technology. And that's where we come in. Entrepreneurs are there to save the day. That's what entrepreneurs do. We solve problems and we make money as a result, right? So thank you very much for showering in all those ideas with 5G technology. Now, initially, it used to be the Tatas and the Birlas and the Reliance, they would be like making people want things. They would make what they want. They would put ads on TV and want people to buy them. Today, we have too many options. As a result, when you're making a product or service, you have to make things that people want. You have to do your research to understand what is it that people want and then build it for them. For example, cabs, right? I'm sure many of you have experienced before Ola and Uber, how cabs used to be so rude and they would always say, no, jabona, won't go, etc. And we would have to struggle. And that was not just India, it was everywhere in the world. I have seen Pakistani cab drivers in the US doing the same thing that we see here with Kala Pila cabs. So the point is, when Uber came in, boom, you have cabs coming to your doorstep, but then there is a problem. They search pricing, this, that. Then comes Blue. Now, Blue is getting funded massively. Why? Because they are saying, hey, we're electric cars, so we don't have to charge you as much. We're not going to charge you search pricing. Come with us. People are like, okay, there we go. People have zero loyalty whatsoever. So if you're not giving them what they want, if there's a problem, some entrepreneur will solve it and you will lose your customers to that entrepreneur. So be aware. Moving on. So start with the problem. That's the first thing. You might not have the best idea and you won't have the best idea, trust me, but start with the problem. When you solve a problem, you solve it better and better and better. Eventually, you get to some place where people are willing to pay you for it. Who are you solving it for? That's important to know. Through Google Trends, Nielsen, Quora, you need to understand what is their buying power, how much can I price it, etc. And there is secondary market research data that you get from this. Basically, okay, people in aged 35 to 45 have the ability to pay so much in urban markets. Or there are 4 crore credit card users in India who have a buying power of at least 1.5 lakhs a month, right? So those kind of big data you will get from Google Trends, Nielsen, Quora, etc. But the smaller, more narrow data you get by primary market research, where you directly talk to your customers. I personally did a project in collaboration with Google. And there was this artificial intelligence engine with which I was taking Google Analytics data and spitting out a one-page report in English, not written by a human, written by artificial intelligence. And I wanted that report to be one page, but extremely rich with insights and information. I called up 336 marketing agencies around the world, multiple countries, right? And I gathered data. What is it that their customers are looking for? I got those data into this one-page report. And because I did my market research, I asked these people, hey, how are you giving the reports to your customers? They're like, oh, we have a human being writing this report. It takes him 7 days to give this report. I'm like, what if I could do it in 1/10 of a second? What if Monday morning, your user, your customer would automatically receive that report from Google Analytics through my software? They're like, wow, we will pay you happily the salary that we're paying this guy. And trust me when I say it, they didn't have to pay the salary. They just paid $1,000 a month. Before even I could launch the product, I had customers paying $1,000 a month for my product. That's the beauty of market research, because not just understanding what the market wants, it is also engaging the market. So people are like, oh, you're listening to my feedback. That's great. When can I use your product? And they become your first customers because they feel you're honoring their request. And this product has their DNA fingerprint in it. So they feel connected to your product and service. So primary market research is very key. If you can do it, especially for B2C companies, definitely involve people in the process. And more importantly, the secondary and primary market research will help you understand what is it that one thing that your startup is known for? Give me 1 second. And accordingly, so rather than doing everything for everyone, your startup needs to do something for someone. So it's very important to stay focused as a startup on solving one very significant problem that your market is suffering from and are willing to pay to solve it. When you dilute yourself into multiple things, then what happens is people are like, I don't get it. What do you actually do? What do you actually sell? I don't understand what you do. Versus when you are, I do this. This is how we solve your problem. Oh, I get it. I want to try you out. Right? So that's at the initial level, that is very important. Like Amazon started with only books, right? They would only sell books. Or if you look at World of Warcraft, the game, it was only single player users. Once they got to a certain level of users, they become multiplayer users. Amazon, once it got to a certain level of users, started offering reviews. With reviews, sales even went up because people could now make a decision based on the reviews. Oh, what product is good? What product is not so good? But initially, focus, because you don't have money for tremendous amount of marketing. You can only spend limited marketing budget on limited niche group of people. So focus your problem statement into one tiny thing that you solve, and you solve it really, really well. Trust me, people prefer specialist over generalist. When you go to a doctor also, when you have a teeth problem, you go to a dental specialist. You don't go to a general physician and say, oh, I have a tooth problem. Okay, maybe less, but the point is generalists make less money, specialists make more money because they do one thing and one thing better than everyone else. As a startup, focus on being a specialist. Eventually, you might become a generalist. Eventually, you might become a Google or a Reliance, that you do so many different things. But initially, focus. Okay. Now, you need to also see what's in your neighborhood, in your industry. Who are the competitors? What are the vendors? What are the products? Who are the customers, markets, etc. Right? It's important that you know what's happening around you. And then comes market segmentation, where there is a geographic, demographic, psychographic behavior. Now, you don't have to go mad over this. You don't have to go analysis paralysis over it. But it helps to know what geography am I going to target? Urban or rural? City or village? Tier 1 city or tier 2 city? Right? What demographic should I go for? Male, female, or both? Psychographic, the value system. Let's say, some people, for example, don't eat beef. Some people don't eat pork. Now, if I am selling certain things and I'm showing advertisement to people to whom it is offensive, they will block me. They will absolutely, reject me. So I need to be aware of the value system of the customers I'm catering to, so that they're not hurt, their sentiments are not hurt, right? Behavior, purchase behavior, right? For example, in Jammu and Kashmir, we have a few startups there. And the common problem is, hey, sir, we don't have people with too many credit cards and debit cards. Most people don't have credit card, debit card, they still use cash. So for e-commerce platforms, for anything, it's always cash on delivery, and that's how we function. Okay. So if you're a startup in Jammu and Kashmir, you have to offer cash on delivery because digital payments are not very common. Makes sense. So when you know these, not analysis paralysis, but you know a little bit of everything, then you understand, this is how my market behaves. And based on that, you cater to their needs, you market to them, you create your product features and everything else. TAM, SAM, SOM. Now, what are these, right? So TAM is total addressable market. So let's say I'm in the hotel industry. My entire addressable market is people who spend money on booking hotels around the world. Now, serviceable available market might be people who book hotels in India only, because initially I will only service India region. Now, serviceable, obtainable market might be West Bengal only, because I'm in West Bengal and with my resources right now, this is where I can reach. I can't reach entire India. So this is my SOM. So it's kind of narrowing down, slowly becoming niche. And further, the most important thing over here is the early evangelists or the early customers, your first 100 customers. Now, that's where we need to focus on. A lot of times, what we end up doing is we focus on the future customer and we build our product. And what happens is it's a gap between the future customer coming on board and trusting us and a product being ready for them. Initially, we need the first 100 customers, and they might have different needs than the future customers. For example, let's say I have a restaurant and I'm selling momos, right? My initial customers might be people around my neighborhood or my friends who are in my WhatsApp group. They might be the initial customers, and they might have a need for certain kinds of requirements, like, okay, I want the momo in the first 2 hours, that's good enough for me. But then as I grow the business, people want it in half an hour. They want it available on Swiggy and Zomato, right? And then as I grow more, they might want to have discount coupons, promotional codes, something. So as I grow to different market segments, different requirements might be incorporated. But initially, my goal is to get to that 100 customers. Only then my business survives. Otherwise, I won't even get to the point where I can sell it to a larger market. So of the TAM, SAM, SOM, the EVG or the early evangelists are the most important. Once you crack them, they will give you referrals, they will write reviews, they will talk about good things about you, and they will bring in new customers. Now, what problem? Now, one thing is, what problem are they willing to pay to solve? That's important to understand. So what are they willing, because there's a lot of problems that people have, and some things people are willing to just accept and move on. Like privacy became a big issue with WhatsApp. And Elon Musk tweeted, oh, get out of WhatsApp. Many people downloaded WhatsApp alternatives. And very soon, they went back to WhatsApp after a week. Why? Because they're like, you know what? Screw my privacy. I'm okay with WhatsApp. I'm used to it. Now, the problem is you can't charge for privacy. So the privacy part is where you can't charge money for, but people will shout about privacy, they'll shout about laws, they'll shout about a lot of things, but you can't make people pay for it. If WhatsApp becomes payable, immediately people will move to something. If Facebook becomes payable, people will move to something else. So it's important to understand there are certain things people are willing to pay for, and there are certain things people are not willing to pay for, right? So first figure out what is the problem that they're willing to pay to solve. So I would like you, for those of you thinking of a startup, I would like you to write down in 10 words or less the problem you want to solve for the market for your startup. So write down a problem statement. So example I've given is oxygen prices in Delhi, like during the pandemic. That was a big crisis, right? And people were selling oxygen cylinders from anywhere between 1,000 rupees to 80,000 rupees. So it's very important that you understand what problem we are solving. So I'll give you 2 minutes, write down a problem statement in 10 words or less. lack of space in household, crowded bus while traveling in the middle class family, deforestation. I want to solve the problem which is created by farmers of Punjab and Haryana due to burning of crops. Wow. Less audience for artistic minds. Solve the problem of not having enough space and work in street. Very nice. Lots of problems, right? A lot of problems to solve. Exactly. Okay. Oh, more. Okay. Unemployment among youths, deforestation, pollution. Super. You guys are amazing. You guys are so amazing. I want to meet you guys in person. I hope we have an in-person event soon. Professor Mukhopadhyay allows us. All right,
We
moving on.
would love to have such sessions in person.
Yes,
We'll figure it out someday.
yes, that'd be great.
Okay.
And now the next step of the workshop is I would like you to fill up this one line. So the XYZ LLC can be the name of your startup. Helps what market? You can say students, you can say senior citizens, you can say doctors, you can say office goers. So name a market. XYZ LLC, your company name, helps what market to do what by what process. And I've given the example of Kolkata Ventures helps entrepreneurs to build and growth hack their businesses by using lean startup methodology. Now we do 10 million other things, but as a core, this is what we do. And if somebody asks me, what do you do at Kolkata Ventures? This is my one-line answer. This is your elevator pitch. When your investor is asking you, what is your startup all about? This is your elevator pitch, right? So if possible, take a screenshot of this and later also you can fill it out, or now also you can share in the chat section. This is a part of your pitch deck, by the way. The first one was the first slide. This is the second slide, problem slide, solution slide, right? So I'm already helping you get you started with your pitch deck. Help students to manage space by using multi-purpose products. So main problem is caste system. Haha, oh boy. Enabling every one of us applications over the cloud, irrespective of operating systems. So cool. All right. Now comes innovation. How do we understand innovation? So there is people's desire, like this is what I want, and they're asking on Quora, they're asking on Google. Then there's a business viability. Is this going to be a profitable business? If I build this business, will I be able to make money from it? Or is this something people want for free? If it's for free, then government has to do it, not us, or social ventures, right? For us, for-profit businesses, it has to have business viability. It has to make money. People's desirability should be strong enough that they're willing to pay for our product and service. Now, can we leverage current technology and make that happen? That innovation that we're looking, can we make that happen? If all three of these are satisfied, then we have a product, minimum viable product with which we can start our startup, right? If it is going to take a lot of money, 400 crores to build a business, so it's not business viable because capital intensive. If people don't want it, it's not a good business. If technology is too expensive or too complex or doesn't exist in today's world or too dangerous, it won't work. So all three has to culminate into innovation. Then you have an innovation worth pursuing. You know, when I heard the founder of Segways, you know Segways, those two wheels with your body weight, you go forward and backward, 4 gyroscopes, great innovation. And he came to our college. He came to our college and he gave a speech and he said, hey, I locked myself up in my room for 6 months. And I built this product that I thought would replace walking and replace cars. But when it was launched, it was too expensive. Nobody wanted it besides the traffic police and tourists. So today you see Segways, they're used by, in foreign countries, they're used by police. In our, maybe Mumbai, the police also use here. Bangalore, they use it in airports and whatnot. And very rare uses. But the founder didn't do market research. He just built it. And so it's far more innovative than an iPhone or an iPod or any of those things. But iPod came out at the same time with market research. And if you look at it, Steve Jobs promoted it as 1,000 songs in your pocket. That's it. He said 1,000 songs in your pocket. When Zune was saying 2 GB, other MP3 players were saying 1 GB, 2 GB. People don't understand what is GB. But when you say 1,000 songs in your pocket, people are like, aha, that's amazing, right? And then there's a white headphone to connect so that people know you're carrying an Apple product in your pocket, because it's in your pocket, you can't show off. So Steve Jobs is a marketing genius. So how is he marketing it? People are on the buses, on trains, wearing white headphones. And that's how others are saying, oh, he has iPod, he has 1,000 songs in his pocket, right? That's how he restarted the Apple revolution. So the point here is, innovation is not just about making great technology. It is about understanding what people want, and business viability is pricing it right and having the right capital to build it. Now, there are different business models. If you look at it at the bottom, there is the old business model of manufacturing, right? Age-old thing. You make one, you sell one. Then came the service providers, like accountants, doctors, right? Where you're in a clinic, you have 4 doctors, you're making money from all 4, but you have to pay also all those 4 doctors, right? So cost is also going up, profit and revenue is also going up, but proportionally. Now, disproportional increase happens in software companies. When you build a SaaS platform, software as a service, or an app, and one app you make and you can sell it 1 billion times, all right? Just once you make it and you sell it 1 billion times. Now you're highly, highly profitable, because you can charge for every time you're selling it, every license you give. And the most profitable model is the platform model, where there is a platform, somebody is buying, somebody is selling, and you take commission, a transaction fee for every transaction that happens on your platform. And that's why Jeff Bezos is one of the richest people in the world. Amazon is one of the richest companies in the world, because they're platform as a service. So software as a service to platform as a service, where you're not making anything, you're not selling anything. Of course, Amazon has started selling their own products as well. But point is, it's the most profitable business model. So these are the different. So once you have the idea, now you put it into the business model. We talked about the business model, remember? The formula for making money. Then comes, okay, in a digital business, how do we build it? Many people think we should build mobile apps. Disagree. Mobile apps initially, unless it's a game or entertainment, it won't work. If it is e-commerce, imagine Amazon, Make My Trip, companies like that paid us 500 rupees for us to download their app. So mobile apps don't work unless you have validation and brand. So initially build a mobile-friendly website where people come, they use it, they like it, and eventually the loyal followers will go on a mobile app, because there's a friction. You have to download it, sign up, fill up this, do that, and then you get to access the mobile app. Versus a mobile-friendly website is good enough, and it costs you less money, and it's nimble. You can change things easily. Whereas a mobile app, you have to change things. Everything costs much more time and money. So better start with website that is mobile-friendly. And it's a process. It's an agile process where there's requirements. There's a design of UI, UX. You develop the technology. You test the technology. You deploy it. People use it. They give you feedback. You find out the bugs. Again, you design, develop, testing. Like that, it keeps going. There are certain things that are scientific when you're building a website, whether it's WordPress or something else. It's already there. UI, UX science is there. Just follow it. It works. A good designed website is equivalent to 1,000 salespeople. So might as well follow what is already available to science. Any website will follow this, right? On the right-hand side, there's a picture, or left-hand side, there's a picture, and there's telling you, this is what we stand for. This is what we provide you. And there's a call to action button. Take action, right? This is what the design phase looks like. If you don't like it, you can easily change it in 30 seconds. Whereas if you're building technology and you were to change after that, every change takes a lot more time and money. So, don't getting into too much details, but that's what it looks like. It's very easy, drag and drop. You can design it yourself even if you want, right? So that's the process. Now, I'm not getting into too much details because it's still at the idea stage. Now, initially, know for a fact you will fail. What you built will not be production ready, commercially viable. It's okay. You will learn from the market. You'll learn from the test subjects, feedback. You'll build again, learn again, build again. That's how life works. Many people are not successful because they fail enough number of times. They let fear hold them back. So remember this. If it is, you're going to fail much more than you succeed. That's how life works, right? When you learn to walk, you failed 10 times before you could walk right once. And again, you failed 10 times before you could walk right once. And eventually you failed less and you succeeded more in walking. Same with the driving, same with life, same with startups. So give yourself the opportunity to fail enough so that you can see the success. Otherwise, you're expecting success to happen from day one and it won't happen. And every middle class family pushes up in that direction because they don't understand the science of success. Multiple failures lead to one success. My name is Avello Roy. Avello is derived from the middle name of Thomas Alva Edison. Thomas Edison is famous for building light bulbs. And one day he was experimenting with one design of his light bulb and it exploded in his room. And his friend was sitting there and he's like, ah. And Thomas Edison wrote down 9,999. And his friend said, what was that? He said, that's how many times the light bulb exploded. It's like, are you mad? You failed 9,999 times and you're still trying? It's like, oh, it's just 9,999 times of learning how not to build a light bulb. I'm just waiting for that one opportunity where the light bulb actually glows and stays consistently, right? Thank God he tried so many times. Today we are sitting in well-lit rooms. So the point is, that is life. So give yourself the freedom to fail enough times so that you can succeed once. And once you succeed, the taste of success will take you to the next level of success and the next level of success, but you need to get there first. I'm here, Kolkata Ventures is here, and Ekta Incubation Center is here. We're here to help you in any way we can. I know many of you are connected with me on social media, but if there's anything you're building, here we are. Watch my videos on YouTube. They're all step-by-step methodologies of building your startup. Connect with me, ask me questions on Instagram. If you need internships, connect with me on LinkedIn. But we are at Kolkata Ventures dedicated to helping you. I'll stop here, and there's a lot of questions I see. See how many we can finish within the time period.
Many of them has raised their hands also. So let us see. I mean, you want to take the questions now?
It's up to you, Professor Mukhopadhyay.
No, it's fine. Let us make it interactive. Maybe,
Sure.
During the process of answering, you can elaborate it further again.
Sure.
So let's go through the question and answer and the students who have raised their hands also, right?
Sure.
So let's take the question. First question is, what is this first question? Better communication, radar technology advancement, and road surveillances and self-driving technology will reduce accident percentage, hence
Not a
lowering
question. It's a statement.
Yeah, what is the question?
Entertainment, transport.
Maybe regarding 5G, you asked something. No?
Maybe they wrote, some people wrote here, I guess, by mistake. Sir,
Where do you work?
where do you work? I don't work.
Himself.
I play all day long.
He is the managing director of Kolkata Ventures. Founder, director of Kolkata Ventures.
To solve problem in the EV industry. Again, that's a statement. quality of
I
education
mean,
in government
you
institutions.
wanted some ideas, so
Uh-huh.
probably it's one of
Yeah, yeah.
those.
If Q2 reached the of O2
O2
reached
reached the
the
below.
below breathing point, then what will be doing by us? I'm not sure I'm prepared to answer biological questions. Okay, sir, can you please tell me about what are the qualities of a good entrepreneur? Thank you. Finally, a nice question. So one of the qualities is communication, for sure, because as an entrepreneur, you are communicating and not communicate. Good communication doesn't mean fluent English. Good communication means you communicate in such a way that you get the other person to take action. For example, when you're building your team, you are attracting other people to come, believe your dream, believe your vision, and join forces. So if you can communicate clearly and show them the value proposition of your business, they're willing to come on board. That's very powerful. When you're communicating with your employees about getting things done, if you're clear in your communication, you will get the deliverable on time. If you're communicating with your investors, right? So communication is a very big part. Number two, as a quality, is time management, because you're going to be a high performing individual, and you can't be living the ordinary life where you're just it's okay, cholche cholbe. You can't do that. You have to have a strict to-do list every day. You have to accomplish those things. Put that in a project management software and keep progressing towards your goal. Right? So managing your time and resources, which you don't have, you'll always be short of time and short of resources, right? Whether it's $1 billion company or an initial startup, but managing it within the confines and stretching it as much as possible without hurting yourself is a nice quality to have. Number three is being visible, knowing how to use digital technology, not just social media. But how can you be found? For example, if you're looking for co-founders, or what keywords to search to find the right person, right? How to use LinkedIn to your advantage, how to use Quora to your advantage, how to use Google to your advantage. What are the free tools available that you can build your prototype with? Having this jugaad mentality, right? There's so much available for free. And things that are not free become free for entrepreneurs. Like Microsoft gives you first 3 years free access to technology that they have. Amazon Web Services gives you free access to their hosting. It's like that. There are so many softwares that are not free, but they become free when you're a startup. So being jugaru, knowing all of that is important for you. So look for whatever you can do, scour, and get the right resources to build your startup. I think these are a few, but there's many more we can go on. Okay. So how we grow from software engineer to entrepreneur? Don't go into analysis paralysis. Software engineer is not some Eskimo or some alien. You're just a human being. Just use your problem-solving technology, problem-solving mentality that you learn in engineering, and use that in real world with a commercial bent. In technology, you'll be like, okay, I solved a problem. Now, it doesn't matter how expensive it is. Is it mass producible? Will people buy it? Is it marketable? We don't think. We just build technology. But when you're an entrepreneur, you're thinking the commercial aspect. Can this be reduced in pricing? Can it be mass produced? Can it be, is there enough demand by enough number of peoples in the market so it can be a viable business? So the commercial aspect has to be brought in, which allows you to be an entrepreneur. Let's see. Guys, you're writing so many questions. Amir Khan, wow. I want to become software developer. Please give any advice. What can I do? Learn coding very well and learn product management. Go on YouTube. There are plenty of resources. Once you know coding and you understand how systems work, how algorithms work, you will have you'll be able to be an effective software engineer. Pritha Roy Chaudhary, sir, how do we first begin with the proper planning for any product that we want to launch? Do you directly start product planning? First, do market research. Before you plan, know what people want. Based on what people want, how much are they willing to pay for it? Based on how much are they willing to pay for it, then you will have a roadmap of, is this viable? Is this not? If this is viable, then we go in this direction. If this is not, let me try something else, some alternative. Let me keep researching. right? And then you find the right ingredients and you create the timeline and the path forward. But first comes market research. Shayan Shapui, how to get now internship? What have to learn now? So Shayan, we are all differently gifted. So different companies are looking for different things. So you first identify what kind of skills that you can learn quickly and you can be very good at it. Whether it is coding, whether it's graphic design, whether it is, whatever, algorithms, whatever it might be for you, you figure that out. And then you build your resume and then you find out what kind of companies are looking for that kind of skill on Internshala and so many other platforms. Ask me on Instagram, and I'll help you through it. But I have to first know what skills you have, before I can give you an answer. Okay. Deep Moitro. So what should be our mindset to grab a good internship and placement? Mindset should be to learn, right? Somebody will pay you this much and teach you nothing. They'll just tell you, jage coffee nahi hai, right? And there are some places where they'll give you less, like a startup, but you learn tremendously because they don't have too many people. And even an intern is doing a lot of the work. And the learning is tremendous. So if you want to do something great in life, in your early 20s and teens, it's important that you learn as much as possible rather than getting focused on the salary aspect of things, right? That's a little tip. And another tip, your boss. Choose your boss over your company. If the company is great, but the boss is not so good, you'll suffer throughout your internship. So make sure your boss is somebody who's willing to take the time to teach you, guide you, be a mentor to you, and you will get a lot from your internship. Tamal Majumdar, is startup for all or it's for some people? What is the key qualities of entrepreneur? How do we inculcate those qualities on ourselves? It is for some people, it's not for all. Startups are very, very hard to do. If you fit in the box and you're a good student, you can get a great job. Go for it. If you don't fit in a box, you don't fit in a society, you think out of the ordinary and you're willing to struggle day and night for the first 5 to 6 years of your life, you will do well in a startup, right? It's mad, the kind of work you have to do. 18, 19 hours initially, right? And eventually you don't have to work much. You can have your managers taking care of things so you can give speech on, on Zoom like I'm doing. But initial days, it's very, very difficult. So it's not for everyone. It's not for the weak-hearted. Just because you're not getting a job doesn't mean you will go for a startup. Startup means far more hard work than job and responsibilities on your shoulder. But being a young college student, best time to start. You don't have family responsibilities, you don't have kids, great time to take a risk. At worst, you will fail. And even a failed entrepreneur will get the best of jobs because in modern society, the best companies are looking for failed entrepreneurs, right? So nothing to lose. A startup for all, okay, done. Tanzim Shahzada. So after earning a specific amount of money, should we start investing in different startups? And if yes, then what should be the minimum investment? Plus, if I'm not wrong, we should invest in different things as well as, yes, absolutely. Investing is how you grow your money. Yes, that's what I do. That's why I invest. Is because initially the josh is there, right? Chalo karte hai. And you are the CEO building your business. But after a while, you realize, okay, it's time for me to relax a little bit, enjoy life a little bit, and let my money grow through hardworking CEOs. So if you see Larry Page, Sergey Brin, they are letting Sundar Pichai do the hard work. They are just innovating with Google algorithms. They are growing Google with their brains. They're chilling in one sense. But Sundar Pichai is the one running the company on a day-to-day basis. He will never be the owner. He's just employed, right? Before that was Eric Schmidt and other people. So like that, you will see that management team, they take care of things. So initially, right now, you should be running the thing. But as you make money, you should invest. That's where you see your money grow with the right kind of entrepreneurs. That's why investors invest. Otherwise, are they crazy? 95% failure rate with startups. Why do investors invest? Because that 5%, if they can identify those 5% entrepreneurs, then they will definitely succeed. And succeed 100x, not like little bit ROI, but 100x ROI. Sir, how I communicate properly? Watch people who you think communicate very well. There's a rickshaw wala's son in Delhi. He wrote to me on Instagram. He didn't just write to me, send me a video. He said, sir, I watched your videos over and over again, and I would try to repeat them in my own tuta futa English. And eventually by practicing it, today I can speak very well. And he sent me a video, and it's amazing. You can't imagine. Rickshaw wala's son. And he himself used to be a rickshaw puller. Now he's a gym trainer. And he got that gym trainer job because his English is fluent. His communication is very nice. Now, I'm not glorifying myself, but to him, I was a good communicator. To you, it might be, Bill Gates. It might be somebody else. But whoever it is, you appreciate, watch them on YouTube, watch them, what they say, and then try to repeat it in your own words, record yourself on your phone, hear it, see the difference, and repeat it constantly till you can get to that level of fluency, that level, little bit of communication expertise, I guess. Okay, Rupankar Pal. Is the self-driving car safe for crowded countries like India? Yes, because it stops. In fact, in India, a lot of the self-driving cars haven't been able to move because nobody follows rules. There are cows, there are this, there are that. They're like confused. They don't even properly. So only in highways. That's why I said highways and trucks where self-driving makes sense, not in gullies and whatnot. Wow. Okay. Agnish Majumdar. Sir, I want to ask, what is urban city we have achieved and easy to access? It is online as well as offline. So can we shift this or apply this rural areas also? Yes, that's happening constantly, right? Tier 2, tier 3 cities, people are getting debit cards, credit cards, wallets, and all of that. And they're becoming digital, and all technologies are moving. In fact, Samsung is massively investing in startups that are focused on tier 2, tier 3 cities. Muhammad Rajibul Islam, is it to become an entrepreneur, we have to be good leader? I mean, how to become a good entrepreneur? See, not everybody can be leader. Like Steve Wozniak is an entrepreneur, but he's not a good leader. Steve Jobs is. So he partnered up. He actually built the first Apple computer, and he came to Steve Jobs. Can you help me sell it? And Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak together built Apple. So if you're a good leader, fantastic. If you're not a good leader, find a co-founder who's a good leader. Udita Sinha. Sir, what are some of the ways to enhance our communication skills and build up an extrovert personality? You don't have to be an extrovert. So Udita, I am not an extrovert. Sorry, Udita. I'm an introvert myself, but I can communicate when I want to. And when you see me outside with people I don't know, I'm the shyest person sitting in a corner. It's totally okay to be an introvert, but when push comes to shove, you have to pitch your business. That pressure really helps, the survival instinct, that if I don't communicate, my dream will not come true. So that push really helps you to communicate, to do anything that is outside your comfort zone. Payal Pal, what should be the first step and method of thinking to build a startup? Find a problem to solve. Soham Chatterjee, will data scientist still be safe job after 30? Why do you care about what 30 years? You want to do the same job? Soham, really? Anyway, but the point is, I can't predict 30 years for Kia. I don't even know if I'll be alive after 30 years. But the point is, yes, data is big. At least for the next 10 years, I can tell you, there's going to be a lot of opportunity with data. 30 years later, I don't know. So, Sohardiyade, is India's rapidly increasing population a burden for jobs, recruitment, placement, and if then, how to solve it? Being unskilled is the burden. Rapidly increasing population is great if the population is skilled. So we need to work on skilling that population. Pritha Roy Chaudhary, sir, how can we be enough knowledgeable about the market status? And as I explained, Google Trends, marketresearch.com, Indian Census Bureau, Quora, all of these are free resources you have access to. Shayanika Das, how to start, first step towards becoming an entrepreneur. Find a problem and solve it. Is India well developed for young entrepreneurs? Yes, India is thriving. In fact, if it is too well developed like America, high competition. When it's not too well developed, you have opportunity to compete and get visibility because it's not well developed. Tamal Majumdar, what are the top questions to ask yourself before you start up? The first question is, will I be able to take all the rejections that are going to come along the way? My family will reject me. My friends will reject me. I will be a loser for the first 5 years. My friends will be buying their first car, their first house, and I will not be able to do all of that. Is this acceptable to me? If that is, then go for it. Because that sacrifice will lead to a life where those same people who are rejecting you today will be telling you, I knew that guy when he was struggling, right? So think long term. How can we drift from student mentality to entrepreneur mentality? Like, what is the first step? Commercial mentality. Solve problems with a commercial bent of mind, money-making bent of mind. Somidip Ghosh. So what is actually an entrepreneur? How will you define entrepreneur? Somebody who solves problems and makes money. Raunak Lashkar. Please discuss on data science and its exposure. Data science is hot. And if you can figure out a way to make sense of data, there's a lot of opportunity there. I'm being very short because time has already run out. Mr. Mukumada is going to be kicking me out anytime. Dheeraj Thakur, how to choose or find the right guy to make team in college. Look for skills that you don't have, that they have. But the chemistry should be also there. You two can be friends and walk towards the goal of building your startup. Don't find somebody who's similar to you. Find somebody who lacks what you have and you have what they lack. That's a great team member. Professor Mukhopadhyay, should we go on or should I stop?
No, you can go till 6:30.
Okay, there's that. Okay, Tihra Fatmawati. What if you stuck or have too many ideas that makes you confused? Yeah, go with the low-hanging fruit. The one that is the easiest, the fastest to go to market, you can go with that. Soham Chatterjee. Will data scientists still be, already answered that question. So hard they. Is India's rapidly increasing? Answered that question. What is actually answer that question? Rituraj, can we Indian make time machine? It is a dream. It looks like a childhood question, but it's my dream to travel in future or past time. What do you think about this? Read the Vedas. Read Srimad Bhagavatam 5th canto. There's a lot of secrets about relativity of time in different layers of the universe that modern science also doesn't know today. If you want to go in this direction, do your research, especially from the Vedas, because nobody talks about time in more details than the Vedic knowledge. Highly recommend you do that. And you and I can have a separate conversation when we meet in person. Pushkar Pan. Sir, what if we can read human minds? We can predict the customer needs. That's the best we try to do. We are trying to read human mind. How do you think Netflix is recommending you a movie that it thinks you will like 99%? How do you think YouTube knows what videos to recommend to you? How do you think Facebook knows? That's what they're doing. Their recommendation engine is trying to predict what you have in mind, because we are all very similar thinking human beings. We have similar patterns of making decisions. And that's what predictive analysis are all about. Artificial intelligence and data science is all about predicting our behavior. Sir, I want to ask that easy to access as well as transport has been achieved in urban city. Can we shift this to rural? Yes, please work on it. Rohan, will data scientists still... Samir Roy, at the gaming industry, as the gaming industry is booming in India, if we make a new game, how can it be marketed when gaming is a topic where people stick to some selected certain choices available in the market? I don't agree with you, Samir. I know many gaming developers who are not big brands and they're selling their games like anything. They have millions of downloads with their free games. Once people like the free games, they pay for the top-ups and the other features and the currency within the game. So yes, it's a booming industry and there is opportunity for startups. Just make sure your game is intense enough. Raghunath Mandal, how we become very well AI specialist? That's a broad question. AI has a lot of things. First, figure out what part of AI you want to be a specialist in. Purva Adhikari, I am a BTech first year student. how to begin my journey with Java, Python, C, or C++. Purva, I'm not a computer science professor, but if I were you, because I'm a computer engineer and I've studied those languages, if I were you, I would create my own projects, and whatever language I'm learning, I would build applications based on those languages, and then create my own applications. When I was learning C, C++, I built a simple banking software. And by doing it, I learned so much about coding. So that's one way to answer that. Bhanu Kumar, give me ideas to start a business. Yeah, go on YouTube. Well, just because you asked. One of the things that's a growing market in India is the pet care industry. It is massive in the US. It's several, I think it's in the hundreds of billions of dollars. And India also, it's growing. People are spending a lot on pets these days because more people get lonely, less they marry, the more they spend on pets. And India is going in the direction where people are marrying either late or they're not marrying, and they're giving that childlike love to their pets. So booming industry there. Lot of tools and softwares related to remote work, because remote work is going up, and a lot of help is required to monitor the work of employees. So there's a lot of post-COVID opportunities you can look at. Shahin Shapui, I know how coding like C, Java, how to apply for internship. Go on Internshala, go on LinkedIn, go on Glassdoor, go on wherever you can and apply. Make a resume first. Rupankar Pal, are self-driving cars safe for us? Achha, I already answered that question. So hard the day. Is India rapidly? Okay, already answered that. So how to compete in this technology field from those who graduate from top institutions like IITs, NITs? Very honest question. So don't look at what institution they come from, look at what they're capable of. End of the day, a company is hiring you not because of the brand. They're hiring you because of what you can accomplish. I was one time in a hiring event, and my budget was $80,000 per year. This is in the US. And I was looking for an app developer. One guy who I was interviewing, he came, and instead of his resume, he showed me his phone. He said, "Sir, these two are my apps. This one has 50,000 downloads and 4.5-star reviews. This one I just launched. Already this has crossed 90,000 downloads." And he opened the app, showed me the UI UX. And I said, "I want you, and I want you now. I'm going to pay you $120,000. And he was in. The point is, it's about what you do, not about the institution you're from. So if you're capable, your skills are good, you can learn on YouTube, you can learn on Coursera, Udemy, all of these places, right? As well as your college. If you can have the skill, then IIT, IIM, this, that doesn't matter. People pay you for what you can accomplish, whether you're a graduate from this college or that college. Of course, there are biases. IITs and all. Why is the bias? Because intelligent people. And if you're from not such an institution, it's a little struggle. But show them real projects. Do live projects in your college. You're fortunate to be here at WBUT. So use that to your advantage and do internships, do projects, and show them, here's what I've done. Here's what I can do for you. Atanu Kormokar, sir, please suggest some books that help us to gather knowledge about entrepreneurship. Thinking Fast and Slow, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Psychology of Money. These are a few, but yeah, you can start with these, and there's so much more. But also do watch my YouTube videos, because I have taken and summarized a lot of the learnings about money mindset and entrepreneurship into these 5-minute, 6-minute videos, right? They're not boring at all, trust me. There are 300 videos, and they're 5 to 6 minutes long. Just watch them. People have made, I've been told, like people have made anywhere between 30 lakhs a month to several crores a month. They are making right now, just by watching my videos. They're like, "Sir, I love you so much. Just your videos have helped me so much." So do take advantage of that, and read books as well. and ask me questions if you ever get stuck. Pile Pal, how can we drift from student? Achha, already answered. How to start a startup as a college student, find a problem, get your smartest friends on board as your co-founding team, build a prototype, launch, make some money, come to me and I'll help you with the rest. Dheeraj Thakur, which one to learn first? App development, web development, learning language? Well, web development is the easiest to learn, where you don't need any language. HTML is not really that much of a language. Web development is great. Then learn a language, then app development, if you want to. Utsav Pandit, will data scientists still, why does this keep coming back? So I want to ask that easy access, same question. Is Shark Tank a good initiative for India? You know, it has made people understand that you can't get funding from idea. You have to do some traction. So a lot of the terminology is now common, but Shark Tank is not real. You know, for us to go from agreeing to invest in a company to signing the shareholders agreement to the money reaching the bank account is a 6-month process. In Shark Tank, you can't negotiate that much, right? In a shareholders agreement, there are so many clauses. The kind of share, the kind of ownership, if somebody dies, what happens? If somebody quits the company, what happens? Etc., etc. So many clauses are there, nitty-gritty things that are very important that you can negotiate term by term, which you can't do on a Shark Tank. So Shark Tank is good for education of how businesses work, but in terms of investment, no. You better go for real investors. Now you can negotiate every term. What if our business fails? How do we keep calm? Just keep calm. Remember my words that you're supposed to fail enough so you can find that one success. Right? Unless you fail, you won't come to success, right? So increase the speed of your failure. Don't do it to fail. Do it to succeed, but fail less, and succeed more. Why many startups fail? Startups fail for many reasons. One of the reasons is the founders are not skilled enough. They fail because they don't understand the market very well. Product market fit is not there. Sometimes they're in the wrong market, selling the wrong product, or the product is good, but it's not the market is ripe. Like food in Kolkata sells very well, right? Textile, for example, in Kolkata might not sell well, but sells very well in Surat. So like that, there are certain markets meant for certain kinds of products and services. How to overcome the fear of public speaking? By public speaking. You have to keep speaking to a few group of friends, speak in front of a phone, watch yourself, speak in front of a phone, watch yourself. You'll get a little confidence, eventually speak to your friends, get some feedback, then find opportunities to speak publicly, run for election or go for some student organization, something. The more you do it, the less it. I'm an introvert. I used to be dead scared of public speaking. And after 500 speaking engagements, I don't care. I mean, I do care a little bit, but I don't get nervous at all. It's my comfort zone. Preetha Roy Chaudhary, sir, how can we have enough knowledge about entire market status? You can't. Just have enough knowledge to know the indication, like weather forecast. You can't know it will rain for sure or not, but at least the indications tell you 90% probability it will rain. So you should carry an umbrella. Same way. What was the failure in your life? So many failures. I trusted the wrong people. So I was, building a product, and it was in Macedonia, they were building it. And right before I was supposed to launch, these guys said, give us $10,000 or else we won't give you the product. We gave them money and they still didn't give us a product. They ditched us. So we realized working internationally with other countries, sometimes people can cheat you. So I've been cheated. My employees have cheated me. There's so many times I've trusted my employees and they've cheated me. They've taken money and all of that. So now I do everything in writing. Everything. I'm much more cautious not to trust people blindly. Right? Of course, I trust people, but I don't trust people blindly. I put things in writing. Even with the startup I had invested in, they took the money, gave it to his father, and he said, okay, sir, I'm closing down the company. My father gave me 1 crore rupees. With your money, I returned some of the money to my father, and I'm done. I don't want to do startups anymore. I didn't have the clause that you can't exit without giving me my money. And after that, I started putting that clause into my shareholders' agreements because I wanted to treat them with respect. Turns out they want the leash to be tight. So that's what it is. So yeah, many failures like that. How can we
Mr.
drift?
Avelo, just interrupting, you can take another 2 questions because you have triggered 190 questions.
190 questions. Holy cow.
This is what you only have triggered. And even if you continue for another 1 hour, you will not be able to finish. So I say that you pick up another 2 questions, and others may kindly put their questions in the chat box. We will keep those and we will try to get the answers. And Mr. Avelo, you pick up another 2 questions and then we will get into another activity.
Sure. How to convey my idea in best possible way to the people. Talk about the benefits of your idea. If this becomes a reality, so many people get benefited and that's the value you're creating, right? And that can be so much money in revenue in so many years of time. And then last question I'll take. How to become the best hacker? I'm hoping you're talking about growth hacker and not computer hackers. Basically have the Jugaru mindset. What people are not seeing, try to see that. If there's a point A to point B, and that's not easy to do, find an alternative route. So always look for alternative ways of doing something in a short, cheap, efficient way. That's all I can say. All right, I'll end here as Professor Mukhopadhyay has suggested. And if you have more questions, ask me on Instagram. I'll be happy to help you there. You can find me just Avelo Roy, Aveloroy. Just Google me, you'll find all my social profiles. Very easy.
Thank you, Mr. Avelo. And we are really all amazed to see that you have created enough of interest amongst the participants. That is why around 190 questions have cropped up. So as you said that they can directly put the questions to you, they can send the questions to extraincubationcenter@gmail.com, which I have left in our chat box. They can send their questions and we'll get the answers to them. And I would now request our co-panelists, if they have any questions to ask you, quickly, maybe another 5 minutes you can spend before we go for vote of thanks. Mr. Dasgupta, Professor Dasgupta, you have any questions to ask Mr. Avelo? Professor Dasgupta. Professor Bhattacharya, Navarun Bhattacharya, you have any questions to ask?
No, a lot of questions Avalora has
already answered.
And as usual, he has been wonderful this time also. And one of the testimony of such his impact of his speech is more than 630 participants were there in today's talk. So that is really impressive. I once again express my gratitude to Avalora for spending time with us. No more comments from me. Thank you very much.
Professor Devashish Dey, you have quick questions to Mr. Avelo?
Yeah, I have one suggestion that if you can come physically to our campus, then I think we can reach more of our students and I hope that soon Pradeep sir will arrange visit if possible. Yeah.
I couldn't hear that.
Some audio interruption has happened.
Saying come to campus. Yes. Would love to do that. Would love to.
Yes.
I think
Once
in-person interactions will be much more fruitful.
Let this exam gets over in the month of December, maybe the first week of January, we can fix up a session where you can directly address the students, right?
Absolutely.
If Professor Dasgupta is there, then he can, raise his points if he is there. I think he is unable to hear us. In that case, I will ask our Director of ICTA Incubation Center, Mr. J.P. Shaw, to put his, viewpoints as well as to, deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Professor Mukhopadhyay. And once again, as usual, Mr. Avelo Roy was the limelight of this webinar. It was a very, very intriguing and very gripping session, I will say. It shows from the fact that we had more than 600 plus participants today, and with innumerable questions that were, like a bullet, it was shot at Mr. Avelo Roy, and the way he handled all these bullets and all these shots, equally with with all his the experience, and that was really very mind blowing. And I am sure today's webinar and this session on the problem solving and ideation this workshop of us being organized by Markout must have been a very, very important a lesson for a lot of these entrepreneurs and a lot of these youngsters who are planning to come up with some startup, or they're having some good ideas, innovative ideas that they want to come up with, and then in future and also in the long run, trying to make that that idea of theirs into a viable product, a viable project through which they can be not only be a service to the society and getting a lot of people involved in their project. So I'm sure this this session, the way he explained to them, things must have become much easier, because I understand that there are those kare na kare, hoga nahi hoga, these type of things are there in the youngsters, because at the end of the day there are failures, but then you must have that patience. The patience is very, very important. Take one failure and then people say that no, to hobe na, then kaise karenge, then he drops the idea and then moves into some other sector. That is also there. Many times I have seen people get somehow, if they don't get the right person, the right mentors and the right guidance at the right moment, they do get deviated from the path which they have really thought of. So the right mentorship and guidance and the little bit of a push factor is very, very important for the youngsters, because this is the time when they are looking forward to do something, and if they have a failure, then they get dejected. So I would suggest all our participants who are into this that don't get disheartened. When there is a dark, the light has to come. You cannot be having night throughout. We are not living in a Scandinavian country where you have number of when the night is there, dark is there. हिंदुस्तान में है, यहाँ तो रात के बाद सुबह होना ही है, सूरज भी आना है, इसलिए nothing to be disheartened. And I once again, on behalf of our university, Markout, and on behalf of our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, who could not make it today because of his other prior engagements, and with my other colleagues, senior colleagues, Professor Srimay Das Gupta, Professor Navarun Bhattacharya, Professor Devashish De, Professor Mukhopadhyay, I warmly and thank Mr. Avelo Roy for his, for his today's webinar participation and the way he discussed, and the way I'm sure all the participants must have benefited from it. And at the same time, also thank my co-panelists. And Professor Srimay Das Gupta has, I see he's there. Sir, if you have any questions or you would like to add something.
Yes, actually, thank you,
nice,
Professor Shaw. Actually, it was a very nice presentation, and actually, it is very much expected that each time Avelo Roy is, I think, enlightening us with a lot of new insights and, informations. So I think all the viewers, especially the students, actually got immensely benefited. And I have only a few things. So, addition to whatever has been taught, that too, our the viewers, mainly the students, that see, students kindly see that whether any idea is coming to your mind or not, whether you want to elaborate it. Okay, idea may come from different cycles. You may think it may come from any discussion. It may come from observing your nature, etc. In different phenomena, or even country situations, whatever it is. And if it is there, then please,
It's coming to your mind or not.
yeah, contact Mr. Avile Roy and our ICC cell, Mr. Professor Pradeep Mukhopadhyay and others. So then what assistance you need. And if you think that that idea, and then you can develop on that idea. And if you have already started something, some kind of, say, small software, small hardware, or some other kind of products, or some other kind of thinking of some other kind of service, and you are intended to go for startup and all that, then also you should contact us. Okay. And you have to start thinking. And in that process, there's only listening is not enough. And only understanding is not enough. You have to apply this, whatever you are listening, whatever you are understanding. And for some fruitful, it's not that everything has to bear fruits. Okay. But efforts has to be there. So that is my request. And with that, I sincerely thank everybody, and especially Avile Roy for, I think, such a wonderful deliberations. And I think such programs will be much more in near future. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Professor Dasgupta. I think Professor, they also mentioned that off and on, sometimes if Mr. Roy is available, and we can have a offline or a live session in our university campus in Haringata with the students of the different departments, because many of them are interested. So if we get an opportunity, we would request you to kindly spare some time to come to the university and also interact with the students.
Yes.
The live interaction, all said and done, of course, webinar तो है, हम देख रहे हैं एक दूसरे को, बट जब सामने में मिलते हैं तो उसकी बात कुछ और ही होती है. So I am sure, Mr. Roy, whenever we get time and you get time, we will invite you to come down to our university so that we can have these type of sessions going on, because we want to have this as a continuous process, because and it's very nicely going on. We have seen your last session, and then in this session, the number of participants are increasing, and that's a good sign. It shows that people are taking the interest in this particular area of entrepreneurship and startup and innovation, etc. So having said that, I once again thank Mr. Roy. मैं तहे दिल से आपको शुक्रिया अदा करता हूँ कि आपने अपना समय निकाला हमारे यूनिवर्सिटी के इस प्रोग्राम के लिए. And along with that, also my colleagues from the university and the technical team, Mr. Prem and his associates, for having done this webinar organizing very well. And I come back to Professor Mukhopadhyay for the summing up part, please. Thank you, Mr. Mukhopadhyay.
Thank you, Mr. Shaw. With the permission of our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, and our co-panelist, I draw this session as closed with the thanks to everybody once again. Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.